Afghanistan used to be a net food exporter. And as soon as the U.S. takes over, they're producing 93% of the world's heroin.
That's right.
I'd like to know how the fuck that happened.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. Nobody wanted to tell me. So I get to Bagram Air Base, and I said, I'm going to need a helicopter to Lashkar Gah. They were like, oh, can't do it. Too dangerous. I was like, no, we're doing it, like, in the next hour. So we get down there. And it's a god-awful place. But man, I'm telling you, as far as your eye can see, all there is poppy. All of it is poppy. So I said, I want to talk to a poppy farmer. They were like, are you nuts? And I said, no, I'm serious. I want to talk to a poppy farmer. So we go out to the poppy fields. We see this guy cultivating his poppy. So I go up to him. And I said, I got to ask you a question, which was incredibly naive. I said, why don't you grow crops that have 2 growing seasons instead of poppy? You could grow tomatoes or onions or pomegranates. And he goes like this. He goes, the Americans told me in 2001, if I told them where the Arabs were, I could grow all the poppy I wanted. I go, what Americans told you could grow poppy? And my military handler's like, we gotta go. Bogey's in the area. We gotta go. And he physically pulls me into the Jeep and takes me back to the helicopter. I was like, okay. So I make an appointment to go to this DEA secret site. Somebody had reached out to me and said, hey, we heard you're doing this study and you might want to come out here. We can have lunch nearby. I was like, okay. So I get in my car. I drive out to Timbuktu outside Washington. Friggin' far. And there's this secret DEA facility out there. So there are 3 of them. We go out to lunch. And they were like, you're in over your head. I said, how do you figure? They're like, there are very powerful forces that want that poppy to be cultivated. And I said, why? It's 93% of the world's heroin. And they said, because almost all of that heroin goes to Iran and to Russia. And we want them to be addicted to heroin. It weakens their societies.
Almost all of it goes to those 2 places, and it's 93% of the world's heroin?
Our heroin comes from Colombia and Mexico and Ecuador.
What about the Andretta, though, getting the heroin from Afghanistan?
That happens too, but it's small scale. So I'm writing all this up, and Carrie's like, nah, we're not publishing that. And I was like,